All right, there we go. We are live. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Chris. This is my channel, We Love Comics. I wanted to apologize for yesterday. I got a notification the day before saying that it was supposed to arrive yesterday anytime between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. So they said I had to sign for it, so I had to be home all day. So all the things I had to do, waiting around to have the delivery happen, because the last time I got the 4, it arrived at 10 o'clock in the morning. So I assumed that it would probably be somewhere near the same. Well, what happened was, by about 7 o'clock last night, they finally just decided to tell me, well, we'll ship it tomorrow. So tomorrow is today, and I got 4 books. Technically, actually 5, because one of them was misgraded the last time. And I like to do the honorable thing. Most people, when they get a grade that's higher than what they expected and probably not, not what it should be, most people just say, oh, I'll take it, and they'll turn around and sell it and make a profit. I just don't want to do that, so I had it regraded, so it is a lower grade than what it initially came back as, because it ended up, they put the wrong label on mine by mistake, and I don't want to profit off of that. So I had one of them redone. So there's technically the 4 that I sent in, plus the one that I got re-slabbed and regraded, so it will be a lower grade, but I want it to be more fair. So, of course, as usual, I do not know the grades, and I want to share that with you live, so let me put on the video camera. And as usual, you can see PGX does a great job with shipping. I mean, these boxes are always perfect, and they do a much larger sized box than what they really need, because like I said, there's only 5 slab books. You could literally put 25 of them in this box. So good job in that. And speaking of which, I always make sure I let people know, even though I have this deal with PGX, I do not get paid. Some people will say, well, you're getting these books graded, that's like getting paid. The difference is I have no contracts that I signed, which means I am under no obligation to say nothing but nice things if something went wrong. And a lot of people who get paid by some company to promote, they actually have to sign a contract with which obligates them or limits what they can and cannot say. So I make sure I don't do that, because to me, my integrity means more. I've also contacted CGC and CBCS when I contacted PGX about this. CGC and CBCS never responded, so it is what it is. And I also make sure I got a deal for you guys, because I want to make sure it doesn't just benefit me. If you send in, if you use PGX, and like I always say, you don't have to, but if you decide to use PGX and you send in 10 or more, and you use the code We Love Comics Free Press, you can get one of them pressed for free. So make sure you write that code. And also, you can get the Greatest Notes, which I forgot to mention on these, so they will not be on there, unfortunately, so that's my fault. But for $5 per, you can get the Greatest Notes placed on the back of the slab, which I love that, and they're the only ones that will do it. It's actually my idea that I mentioned to the owner of PGX, Daniel Patterson. So it's nice that a company will actually listen to somebody. So if you want the Greatest Notes on the back, which of course it's optional, just write We Love Comics Greatest Notes, and it's $5 per. So if you only want 1 or 2 of them with the Greatest Notes, you can mention which ones. So as usual, click on the link if you want the cashback program. It's free to do. Just check any restrictions if it qualifies in your area. If you sign up and spend $25 or more within the first 90 days, you get $10 cashback bonus. And it does help me, because I'm still waiting for my employment to reopen again, and I hope you guys are safe. So let's get into it. The first one is the one that I regraded. It was a 7.0, which I knew with the stain in the back it wasn't going to be that. So this is not one of the first 4, but it came back a 7.0. I knew that was not it, so I sent it back, explained the situation. They had no problem with it at all. So there you go. That's what I said it should be, a 6.0. And it's still in great shape, but it does have some tape on the back and everything. So there's the tape. And there's a little stain on the top, but it doesn't bleed through. So 6.0 is definitely more realistic to the grade. Everything else is perfect. And I got it pressed and dry cleaned. That's something I highly recommend to anyone that gets their books graded, no matter who you use. Spine is perfect. There are no ticks along the spine. And again, I forgot to mention this time to do the greatest notes, so they didn't do it on this one, but it looks like they did it on the other 4. So that's good. I'm very happy with that. So that one's just a reslab. Alright, so these are the 4. And don't forget to wait until the end. If you want today's surprise subscriber shout-out, you have to be in the live show to get the shout-out. So I encourage people to hit the notification bell so you'll see when I make a video, or just check my videos periodically, because when stuff like this happens, I'll try and give advance notice, but unfortunately, like I said, Federal Express, there's a reason why I never use them, but they're here now, that's all I care about. So at the end, we'll do the surprise subscriber shout-out. Alright, so of course, I will mention the book, the significance, and what I paid for it, what I estimated the grade to be. And remember, when I make the estimations for grades, it's before I get them pressed and dry cleaned. So the grade can go much higher than what I anticipated. But we'll see. I'm usually pretty spot on. Alright, so the first one. This is definitely a book I highly recommended people to get. This is X-Men issue number 9. Now, I don't see that I wrote that down. Oh, is that... Oh, no, I'm sorry. I was looking at the wrong thing. That's X-Men number 4. My apologies. Okay, so now I'm looking, because my 4 looked like a 9. So this is the first appearance of the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, the first Scarlet Witch, and the first Quicksilver, which rumors are he will be in the Scarlet Witch TV show. We'll see what happens. This, of course, is a lower grade book, but I don't care. I like preserving the lower grades. I want to cover the grades so you can't see. So there is, you could see, some damage on the back. But I always say low grade is better than no grade, because high grades of this book is going to be very expensive. So if you want to make an estimate of what you think the grades are, you're more than welcome to. I want to make this so you can't see the grade, and I can't see the grade. Alright, so I paid only $193 for this book. This book is going to continue to go up, especially if the TV show ends up doing well, and they go into second, third, and fourth seasons. Who knows what they do with it. But I paid $193, which of course includes shipping and handling. I predicted this to be a 1.8 to a 2.5 with about off-white pages. So it's a lower one, but that's okay. It always bases on the price that you pay. So here we go. Alright, so this one's actually lower. So it shows that, you know, I don't always get them right, but they're not, like, some people have accused, oh, you work with PGX, so that means they're going to give you discounts, and they're going to end up, upgrading your books above what they're supposed to be. This is definitely lower than what I thought it was going to be, but a 1.0 is perfectly fine. So let's see what they said the grading. Okay, so it's got a full spine split, cover edge wear, minor edge wear, multiple chips, browning interior cover. So they did put the greatest notes. So like I said, for a $5 charge, you write down We Love Comics greatest notes, because it's actually my idea. 1.0? Am I thrilled? No. But you know what? I'm still happy. They're not. I would rather have an honest 1.0 than a dishonest 4.0. So this shows, and this is why I like doing this live, it shows that just because I'm working with PGX doesn't mean like, oh, we got to give him a 9.8 on everything no matter what, because we want to take care of him because he's advertising for us. So anybody that wants to dispute this is not a fair grade, well, that's up to you. I'm not here to tell you how to think. I'm just showing you without edits, without cutting out certain parts, without taking the camera and pulling it away so something else can be done that's sneaky or dishonest, and you make your own decisions. That's why I do this almost every single month. So FB Legend doesn't seem to like it, so what I would say is if you don't like it, it'd be kind of silly to watch it. But, to each their own. I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm here to show what I do. Alright, so next up, we got one of my many Fantastic Four, number 48s. This is a book I highly recommend. Do you think this is expensive now? Wait until they officially make it so the Fantastic Four are in the MCU. Then you have, because this is the first full appearance of Silver Surfer, and then you have the first cameo of Galactus. So this book can go up 3 times if they do it at different times. Silver Surfer, Galactus, and the Fantastic Four. So this book is expensive, even in low grade. You're talking a 0.5 is going to cost you now about between $300 and $400. and that's ungraded. But you ain't seen nothing yet, so I highly recommend to get this book. So I paid $454.95. I had a $50 sale that they were doing on PayPal. If you use the credit, their PayPal credit, and spent like $300 or more, you got $50 off. So $454, even in low grade, is nice. But this is a nice looking book. And again, let me cover it. Show you the back. Back looks pretty good. I predicted... What did I predict? I said about a 4.5 to a 5.5 with off-white pages. Oh, and by the way, what was the page color on the other? Off-white to white, so I'm pretty close with that. All right, so let's find out what the grade is for this book. Definitely get this book before it's too late. Survey says a 5.0, so there you go. It's right in the middle. I said between a 4.5 and a 5.5. I'm incredibly happy with a 5.0. And it has off-white to white pages. What did I say? Off-white. So I'm pretty close when it comes to that. Looks pretty darn good. Again, the pressing helped. So a nice mid-grade book. The only major thing, if you want to call it major, is there's a tiny little tear. You probably can't see it on the back, but of course they'll mention it. So it says, browning of interior cover, multiple stains, multiple stress lines along spine, which are very minor, moderate cover and edge wear, and then the 1/4 inch edge tear on back cover. Okay, so they did mention that. So right there, it's about 1/4 inch. Again, you might not be able to see it, but they're very accurate, and that's another thing I always love about the grader's notes, because when they put them on there, you know what's going on. There's companies where books don't have the grader's notes, and you do have to pay for them, and even with that, sometimes you don't get them. Then you don't really know what's wrong, and they're not really accountable. So this gives a lot more accountability, and it's something I recommend. It just lets people, especially if you're selling books, it kind of helps people know what they're buying, so there's no guesswork and no surprises, which could lead to returns. So to pay $454.95 for a 5.0 Fantastic 448, very happy with that. Get this book, trust me. All right, 2 more to go. Okay, I'm trying to do this so I don't see the grades. All right, this is definitely another book I would highly recommend. I have 2 copies of this book. I bought these a couple of years ago, so they haven't made any official announcements if this character will be in the next Spider-Man, but there have been rumors, and you know what will happen. Giuseppe says, what would a restored copy be worth? It depends on the grade, and it depends on the restoration. So it's very hard to say without knowing what the restoration is and what the grade would overall be. But I mean, that when it comes to books that are of significance, you're still going to make money on them, but it always depends on what you pay. So don't overpay for a restored copy, because some people will not touch it. But then again, there's always somebody out there that's willing to buy something. So the less people like something, the more likely you are to buy it at a better price. So again, I can't really answer that question without really knowing more details. But this, of course, is the first appearance of Kraven the Hunter. This is definitely a key issue, one I highly recommend. Since I bought this a couple years ago, like 3 years ago roughly, I didn't pay tremendous amounts, so I only paid $190 for this book, which includes shipping and handling. This book, again, it's a lower grade, but not super low. I said it was about 2.5 to a 3.0. Or did I write 3.5? Yeah, 2.5 to 3.5 range with off-white. So let me show the back. I want to cover this. So the back, again, looks really clean. They do great jobs. Now, their pressing and dry cleaning services are in-house, so you don't have to worry about it being mailed or shipped or anything to another area, which means less chances of damage. So that's another thing I like. And they also do signature verifications. So again, I'm going to put the link. Now, the link to the We Love Comics codes for the free presses and everything, that's in the description of this in any video. So if you don't see it in the live chat, you can look in the description. It's right there. Okay, so I predicted a 2.5 to 3.5. Let's find out what this one is. And then we got the last one, which is my Holy Grail comic. And there we go. So 4.5. All right, so I was wrong with that one, but pleasantly surprised. The pressing really did this one justice. So actually, it does not look out of the realm of a 4.5, because you know me, if I didn't think that, I would have this redone. So this definitely, the pressing really helped this book. So you can see there are no tears. The back again. Now there's some color breaks along the spine, but of course when it comes to a mid-grade book, that's acceptable. So let's go into, so it's got first appearance of Craven the Hunter, second appearance of Chameleon, first mention of Mary Jane Watson. That I actually did not know. So they just mention her, but they don't show her, because she's got an interesting, she's got 2 cameos where you don't even see her. So her, you know, first appearances are all over the place. But I actually did not know that Amazing Spider-Man 15 is the first time they mention her. So that is a minor significance. So let's read the grader's notes. I'm very happy with this one. And it shows that I don't always get it right. But it says multiple stress loans along the spine. The major part is just right here. So there are some stresses that break color. But again, that will qualify because it wasn't all the way down the spine, just in that one area. So that still qualifies for that. Moderate cover and edge wear, which is to be expected. Slight edge chip, bottom front cover. And that is, it's like a microscopic little chip. I don't know if you'll even be able to see that. See right there? So a tiny little chip. And minor stains on back cover, slight edge wear, weak spine. So again, the pressing really helped this book. Sorry for the glare. So there's some minor stuff, but again, when you're talking grades, that definitely qualifies. And this is exactly why I tell people to get your books pressed and dry cleaned. Because before the pressing, this all around here was pretty, you know, it's got like some indents and everything like that. So pressing helped bring it up higher than even I thought it would. I don't like to grade too much higher when it comes to pressings, but they can go a full grade higher, even a grade and a half higher, depending on the problem. Now, obviously, pressings do not help color breaks, so you can't do anything about that, but it's great for wrinkles and spine wear, so I highly recommend. I mean, a grade difference can be a couple of $100. Depending on where you get a book pressed, it could be anywhere from $20 to $50. So you can make a lot of money doing that. Harvey says, who's one of my moderators, by the way, says, Chris, have you got what you need to bring to my next comment when I shout out in the comments? I always do. Harvey's always good at being sarcastic with his comments, and I'm always quick to respond. So let's see what you got, Harvey. Now, obviously, he has a hearing disability, so he won't know what I said until this gets processed and they put the little words at the bottom so he could read it. So shout out to Harvey. All right, last but not least, this is one of my grails. I got a huge deal on this, package deal. I got it with Hulk 180. If you haven't seen the video, I did it about 2.5 months ago. I asked for a discount on the price when it was a best offer. I asked for $800 off and they accepted it. So it shows even with grails, you could make some good deals. So don't be afraid to ask. So this is my 5th copy of this book. I cannot stress enough, especially Hulk 180. But the Hulk 80, in my opinion, is the #1 most undervalued comic of the Bronze Age, in my opinion. Because once Wolverine is officially placed into the MCU and they make official announcements, these books are going to go... You think they're untouchable now? Wait until the announcements. So you still have time because they haven't made it official yet. So even if you have to use a payment plan, I mean, obviously don't put yourself to the point where you're, spending mortgage money or anything like that. But if you have extra money to spend, 3 books I would recommend. Hulk 180 is the first one. Daredevil #1 is the second. This is third. Then you have Fantastic Four 48 and 49 as my top 5 books that are the most undervalued at this point. So again, a 0.5 of this book at this point is going to cost you over $600 most likely. When there's an announcement, that'll probably be over $1,000. So you could potentially double your money even in a lower grade book. And lower grades are easier to resell because everybody'd love to have a 9.8, but you're going to talk $40, $50, $60,000. Not many people happen to have that kind of money. But if you have a 0.5, let's say you spent $500 on it, it ends up being worth $1,200. Well, you've more than doubled your money, and you'll sell it pretty quick, especially after an announcement. All right, so this was in a pretty decent grade. This is another one that will benefit from a pressing, so hopefully it'll be higher than what I predicted. But I paid $1,000 for this book, which is pretty cheap for these days. I predicted about a 3.5 to 4.5 off-white pages. And by the way, the last one had off-white to white pages. So I'm pretty spot on. I keep saying off-white, but it's they're saying off-white to white. All right, so I paid $1,000. I predicted 3.5 to 4.5. Let me show you the back of the book. The back of the book looks beautiful. You can see how white it is. So this might be higher than what I predicted it to be, because their dry cleaning and pressings I'm very happy with, because especially with this white book, there's a lot of times a lot of dirt, but you can see how white that is. So is this a perfect book? Absolutely not, but I'm very happy. There is some color breaks along the spine and everything, but again, not to be missed. Make sure if you buy this raw, make sure it has the Marvel stamp in it. I have videos talking about that, so check it out if you don't know what I'm talking about. I made sure I checked before I sent this to get graded, so it does have the Marvel stamp. Alright, so last one I predicted comes out to be the grade of... There we go, 5.0. So I was off. I said 3.5 to 4.5. Again, pressings did an incredible job on this book. Nothing really major. I mean, there's a minor little bit in the corner. Like I said, there's a couple of spine ticks that break color, but they're very tiny. There is a little color breaking crease just along the edge there. So minor stuff which would qualify for a 5.0. The back is perfect except for two minor hair-thin little tears. One smaller than the other. But I'm very happy with this 5.0, especially for the price I paid. Let's look what a 5.0 is on Go Collect. Now, with Go Collect, they base it on CGC. So, of course, you know, CGC is number one. I'm not going to sit here and deny it. They're not perfect, as some people claim them to be. But they are definitely number one, and they're going to sell for the most. So, the prices are based on the CGC prices. So, this will be a little bit lower. But I promise you, a 5.0 is going to be worth a lot more than $1,000, even with PGX. So let me look that up really quick. And like I said, if in case you're not familiar with the website, it's called GoCollect.com. What they do is they base their prices off of eBay sales. So they take about a year or two, depending on what the book is selling for. Some of them they're not going to have a price because there's no sales that have been made. That's why you'll see something like Detective Comics 27. They don't have any prices on that because, not many people have that book and not many people are selling it. But check them out. I'm not affiliated with them or anything. I just use them, so I want to mention. So a 5.0 as of now is currently valued at $1,900. So it would not shock me if I wanted to sell this right now. I could sell it easily for $1,500 to $1,600, no problem. But you'd be crazy to sell this right now because, like I said, once there's an announcement, this book is going to go through the roof. So very happy with that. For $1,000, I cannot complain. Make sure you look at your auctions because there's plenty of books out there, even ones that are already graded. Because, like, for example, when I first started sending my books to CGC to get graded back when I first got back into collecting in 2016, I didn't even know about pressings. So I sent my books in. They didn't get pressed. So many people out there have graded books that never got pressed that can be, improved, which means you'll get higher value for the book, but you have to know what you're looking for. When I saw this deal, I knew this book would benefit from a pressing and was going to be worth a lot more than what I paid for it. And not only did I worry about now, I looked at the anticipation of the future. That's why you see a lot of my books are books that are going to continue to get higher and higher in value instead of buying the books that are already at the peak. Those books you sit on and wait because the prices will go down. Not because they're not valuable, it's because out of sight, out of mind, and there'll be other distractions for people to buy books and they won't pay attention. That's the time to buy those kind of books. So, these are the books That's my story. Let me show all the books. We got Amazing Spider-Man number 15, first appearance of Kraven, the Hunter, and also first mention of Mary Jane, which was something I learned. So if you didn't know about that, put that in the comments section. 4.5 off-white to white pages. Fantastic Four number 48, first full appearance of Silver Surfer, first cameo of Galactus. 5.0 off-white. This is the book that I just got regraded because they made a mistake and it originally was a 7, and I said there's no way it's a 7. So they regraded it, came back a 6.0. So I lost a whole full grade, but I'm happy with that. I'd rather it be honest and closer to what it's worth than to try and profit off of something that will mislead somebody. This one was lower than what I thought, but that's all right. I mean, I think I made out in this little haul. This is X-Men number 4, first appearance of the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, and also first appearance of Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver. Definitely a book to get, even in low grade. And last but not least, and that has off-white to white pages. So all of them have off-white to white pages, including the last one you just saw, Hulk 181, 5.0. Very happy with that book. And those are the books. So I have another 4 books that have already been sent out. If you want to know what they are, I did a video a couple of weeks ago. They're in the process of being graded, so they'll come back by the end of this month. I do this every month, so at the end of this month, I'll have 4 more books that I'll make my predictions of the grades, tell you the prices, and tell you the significance, so check that out. That'll be under my playlist, so hit the like button, hit the share button, subscribe if you haven't. Let me do today's surprise subscriber shout out, and we're going to do 2 today. We're going to do Jose Serrano, and we're also going to do Simon R. So Simon and Jose, you are the surprise subscriber shout outs. So if you watch this video, please give the shout outs a shout outs. I know Harvey will be one of them. Hopefully you will as well. Harvey asks, how's Buddy these days? That's one of our stray cats that we took in. He's doing very well. We feed him really well. His coat's shiny and he's healthy and happy. And he woke me up this morning because he was licking the top of my head. So that's it. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Collect what you love. Don't worry about what anybody else likes or dislikes. Don't base things on what other people say. Base it on what you love. Get whatever grade you want. I have 4 books that are coverless. I have Fantastic Four number 1 coverless. I have 2 copies. One is the 2.5 I've shown. But I have a coverless one. I have a Batman 59, first Golden Age Deadshot, which has coverless. I also have a 3.0 of that. I have Superman number 2, which is from the Golden Age. That's coverless. And I also have a coverless Amazing Spider-Man number 1. So if you love comics, it shouldn't matter, because if you love it for the story, well, there is no story on the cover. Of course, you'd love a complete one, but especially those books are pretty darn expensive. So collect what you love, collect what you can afford, ask for deals, wait for deals, be patient, research, know what you're talking about, because if you just go in blindly just because somebody recommended something, you're going to fail more times than you're going to succeed. So knowledge is power, and you can utilize that in anything in your life. So give a shout out to the shout outs. And do not forget, it is not you, it is not I, it is We Love Comics. Please, before you go, hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe, and leave a comment letting me know what you thought. Have a great day, everybody, and I will see you next video. Stay safe. And that's all she wrote.